Should you bring a public adjuster into your claim right from the start or after the adjuster has been out to look at the hail damage on your roof? On a residential claim, it's a little bit different than it is on a commercial claim. On a residential claim, it's a little bit more of a commodity type claim. The damage is right there for everybody to see. It's on the surface of the shingles. There's nothing hidden about it. And while we often don't agree with the adjusters on their assessment of the loss, you can see everything. And on a residential shingle type claim, it's typically okay to let the adjuster come out and adjust the loss, and then when he underpays it, bring us in to clean it up and get the rest of the money that you have coming on the claim. On a commercial claim, it's a little bit different animal. It's important to bring us in from the very beginning on a commercial claim for a couple of reasons. One, there's a concept called the loss reserve. It's where the adjuster for the insurance company sets what they think is the value of the loss right from the beginning. And if they set that loss reserve too low, they tend to defend that aggressively. So if they come in and set a loss reserve at $50,000 and we think the claim's worth $2 million, we've got to fight on our hands just to get that loss reserve moved around. Whereas if we come in from the very beginning, we can be involved in setting that loss reserve. Secondly, unlike a shingle roof, on a commercial roof claim, such as on a TPO, single ply, EPDM, or even mod bit, sometimes the damage is hidden. Sometimes it's on the bottom of the sheet, the roofing material, and it's less visible on the top, and sometimes not visible on the top at all. And we have to use some really high-tech investigative techniques to find the damage to the membrane, especially on a gravel surface built-up roof. Those roofs are really good about hiding the damage and disguising it. And the problem with that is, if the adjuster comes out and he doesn't know how to find the damage and he denies the claim, says there's no damage, or says there's very little damage, and then you bring us in to get the rest of the money or get them to open the claim back up and pay the right amount, sometimes the insurance company will just buck up and say, no, we're not going to grant you another inspection. We've already been out and looked at it once, and we're going to stand by our position. And so we've got a real fight on our hands just to get started at that point, just to get them to grant us an inspection so we can show them what our position is on the damage. And so it's just a lot easier, it saves a lot of time, it reduces the number of battles that we have to do with the insurance company if you bring us in from the very beginning to help establish the loss. And I learned this concept from my dad. My dad was an insurance claims manager back in the 1960s and 70s and owned a couple of adjusting agencies on the side. And one of the first lessons he taught me about this work is he taught me to negotiate disputed hail claims back in 1985. And he said, look, it's a lot easier to convince the adjuster initially of what our position is on the damage than to have him under-assess the damage and then bring him back out and make him admit he was wrong the first time. So it's a lot better to just bring us out, let us set up the loss, let us work on getting the proper loss reserve, set up the file, and usually it can speed things along a lot more efficiently.